Howdy, y'all. We're talking about expenses today. Something we run into a lot. Actually, we ran into it last night. We have essentially, so we have like our rates, just somebody calls us. We have discounted rates for the shops we work with. We had someone call last night looking for a tow, and it was off the recommendation of one of the shops. So, you know, we come in at a much lower price than normal, and for him it just wasn't low enough, which, you know, it's not my problem. It's not our problem. You know, you're paying for a service, and I think that's something that we I think in our industry it's quite
devalued.
Yeah, you know, and we're moving the thing that gets you from point A to B, gets the kids to school, gets you to your doctor's appointments, to those that have to go to work, gets you to work. And, you know, you're paying for, well, one, a service, but two, the knowledge, the proper equipment, the fact that we are insured. If something were to go wrong, somebody runs a light and hits your car, you know, we're the ones that are covered under that with our insurance policy, because we're the ones that currently have the vehicle. It's things you don't have to worry about. But something we continue to run in, and you know, as it is with most industries, there are people who believe the service should be a lot cheaper, whether it's because they have their own motor club or their insurance or whatever. They're of the mindset that a tow should cost $50, and quite frankly, you can't survive off $50.
Doesn't even cut it. $50 won't turn our truck on.
You know, it just doesn't. The numbers don't math. You know, we can't.
Math ain't mathin'.
It is not. So, something we're going to touch on today is kind of just the, you know, what it costs for us to just exist on a day-to-day, you know, basis, and then kind of where we see the industry at as far as industry standards go for the cost of a tow, and why things are kind of the way we perceive them to be, and, you know, leave it open for folks to comment and give us their 2 cents as to why the towing industry, as I'm sure many other industries, are so devalued. So I'll let Claire take it away as far as our breakdown of finances goes, just on a day-to-day cost to move the truck.
Well, gotta start with diesel, or even further back it up, we gotta start with the truck. So, you know, we have our truck payment because we did decide to go with a newer route rather than buying outright and used, with the newer route of things. So we have our truck payment every month, a few $1,000s. We have our insurance payment, $1,000 every month, to make sure that our truck is safe, to make sure your car on our truck is safe. We have diesel to move the truck. You know, when we first came home from Ohio with the new truck, diesel prices were over $5. Thankfully, you know, looking a little kinder these days, but not quite kind enough in my brain, in our bank. But then we have maintenance on our truck. We have to grease everything, make sure it runs properly. We have to hydraulic oil, the oil for the engine, tires. Let me tell you, truck tires, not a fun expense. I went from a smaller SUV tires, you know, hurting, nothing in comparison to a truck tire. Let's see, what else do we have to pay for right away?
Well, we kind of have to pay ourselves.
Yeah, you know, we'd like to eat, have groceries in our house, have
pay our own bills.
Yeah, have our own bills.
We have phones that are running 24/7 that take phone calls and whatnot. We need those to be on.
Or when we get those 2 a.m. phone calls, "Hi, I've broken down. Can you please come help me?"
Yeah. And then I tell them what the quote is for 2 a.m. and all of a sudden they don't want help. And to be quite honest, I know quite a few rates. We're friends with a lot of other guys that are out here, and I think in this industry you have, you know, the big companies, and then you have your single one-man show guys, and we're close with a lot of those guys. It's a friendly competition, you know. We meet up and go to dinner together, and we're all within, you know, 20 bucks of each other, and somehow, you know, it's still too expensive. And to be quite honest, you know, if you break it down per tow, you know, we have a hook fee, a mile fee for the truck coming out, and then
And if
another
your car requires extra services,
Yeah.
as far as, you
such as
know,
dollies,
getting it off the ground
Yeah.
completely. We have to
Stuff
worry
like
about
that.
our own equipment.
which, let me tell you, rebuilding a set of dollies is not fun, nor is buying a brand new set of dollies. But anyways, it's an expensive industry to be in, and I don't know that I want this to come across as us complaining. Is more of maybe education and, you know, kind of what we experience on that day-to-day business basis with these phone calls. There are those that call us and don't flinch and say,
They're
yeah,
like,
how
come here
soon can
now.
you be here?
Yeah.
And, you know, those are the best phone calls, and those are the kind of people we want. You know, we want to do the best for, and we understand that money's tight because, you know,
It's tight for everyone these days.
we're unfortunately in the middle of a recession, and it's just not, you know, things are not cheap, and when things are not cheap, it affects everybody. But I think it's frustrating, and we found it more and more in the last year or so, or half a year, that we are met with maybe not hostility, but
To a certain extent, some folks have been a little hostile about it. Why is it this much?
Yeah.
Why can't you just do it for $100 instead of, you know,
the
our actual
negotiation. And I think, you know, the best example I can use is I quoted a lady on how much it cost for us to come out and do a lockout. It was $125. It was late in the evening. We had already got
farther
home,
away,
parked
you
the
know?
truck. We're done for the night. And so I told her, and she said, yeah, at this point, whatever. You know, it's going to be a few hours for my insurance. My motor club's, you know, not responding, blah, blah, blah. And I told her we could be there in about 20 minutes. Sure enough, we got there, and it took me about a minute in and out. And she was frustrated that I was still going to charge her that much. And what isn't seen is I've been doing it for now 8 years. You know, the knowledge that, you know, I know how to get in there, but the tools aren't cheap.
And then
My time's not cheap.
had he been brand new, just learning how to do lockouts, well, it might have taken the 30 minutes.
You know?
But since he's done probably more than we can even count, it happens a lot faster.
It's you're paying for
The
knowledge and
making sure
experience.
that we're not going to scratch your car, you know, when in the
damage your lock,
process.
break your door handle.
Yeah.
You know, it's that comfort. But the services are for some reason devalued or being devalued. But I think the comparison for us is you call your plumber for your toilet. We recently had this happen. The flange was cracked, and he didn't do anything for us that day except tell us it was broken and charge us $275 and walk right out the door. Tell us that, you know, they come back with a new flange and a toilet and fix all these things.
And here's the quote for that
smooth little
appointment.
$3,000 for that,
Yeah.
which, you know, you gotta have a toilet, and I'd like to think that you gotta have your car. So we're, you know, I think a question for us is where that disconnect is as far as the expectation
why are some services, no problem, I'll pay whatever you need, to whereas, you know, this is a service you need, why is it such
We're gonna
a hassle?
Yeah, you know, you gotta
a haggle.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. It turns into a haggle. Can't you do it for this? Can't you do it for that? You're taking up my time too. That's time away from my family. That's time on the road. And for those of us that drive in Washington,
it's a dangerous place.
It's a dangerous place, man. Nobody wants to look. It's, you know. So now I'm taking the liability of moving my $160,000 investment, taking the risk that somebody's going to hit me on the way to you. So I think it's, you know, this. I really hope the video doesn't come across as us complaining, but more as, you know, this is kind of the day-to-day. You know, it's an expensive business to run.
But it's also one we really enjoy.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think one of my favorite things is getting to getting to help people that are, you know, in need of service and have already had another truck come out and that guy couldn't do it. So they've heard about us and they want us to come out and see if we can do it, and that we do it nice and smooth, and that's what we're looking for, you know. So,
any other last thoughts?
I don't think so, as far as, you know, the expenses for the company go, for the business. I think that's Frank Sewing.
That's us.
Have a great day. Be safe. God bless.